guys, we got this. Let's go. Gun wide trip sweep. Pros X go. On one. Ready?
Right.
What's going on, everyone? ACAP24 here from HuddleGG. Today's video, we're going to talk about the meta blitzes that are out there when it comes to zone coverages and how all the coverage cells are almost identical. It doesn't matter if it's the cross 3 fire, if it's cover 4 where they do the disengage, whether it's in 4-3 even 6-1, or cover 4 quarters, cover 4 palms where they do all the loop arounds. It's all the same coverage cell. I'm going to show you real quick here what I'm talking about, right? So I'm going to go with double safety go into the cover 3 cross 3 fire here. I'm going to set up how, the meta is, right? Where they're going to do something like this to where they are going to have a shell that looks like this. Real simple, okay? The reason why this is the shell, when I mean the cover shell, this is where it is. You can have 2 safeties that are low. They do the walk down safety so that way they cover the seams. So you've got 2 outside players where they're going to be covering the outside of the numbers. And then they're going to have typically 2 hard flats that are going to be covering basically to the outside. The reason why this is so successful is that, as you can see, even though it looks like a lot of coverage, these 2 guys are going to be backing up, right? This guy's going to be backing up, and because he starts so low, it's going to take away the seam. This guy's going to back up and he's going to basically take away the seam as anything's going. So those 2 guys are doing really well. These guys start inside and then they move to the outside, right? This guy's going to start inside and he's going to move to the outside. This guy's going to loop around, right? He's going to come, blitz, leaving this one player, if you see it, to be able to cover basically numbers to numbers under 10 yards. And basically that is where is going to be where they're going to have the responsibility for. But because of the blitz coming in so quickly, because of where the players are playing, they're going to disguise that it's got a lot more coverage than it actually does. If I go out of this and I go and show you different, other types of things, I go to 4-3 and 6-1, it's going to be the same exact thing. I go to cover 4 quarters and I do the same thing where I'll do it like this, and you can see it's the same shell, right? You got your 4 outs, your 4 people on the outside, you got your hard flats. Right, I can go to cover 4 quarters out of pretty much anything, right? I go to, I'll do it out of nickel so you can kind of see it. When people do this, it's going to be the same exact thing where they're going to have, the same shell where they are going to have 2 guys that walk down, and they're going to have, basically, if I could show it to you, if I can shade down, the same exact thing where they're going to have the same players, right? Every single blitz that you're going to find out there is going to be that way if it is a zone blitz. Obviously, you got man blitzes, whatever. So in this video, what I want to do is I want to talk about where to attack this, what routes are you going to be able to do to attack this, and basically kind of give you more of just a simplistic view of it and say, you know what, forget about the blitz for a second and don't get overwhelmed by the pressure. Simple it down and say, where can I attack this where they can't really do much about it from a quick standpoint, from a user standpoint and whatnot. So let me just go ahead and set up the blitz. I'm going to show you zones in which we're going to talk about when it comes to what it's going to look like as far as boxes on the field of where you should be attacking, right? If I go ahead and set this again, right, I'm just going to audible to crossfire 3 and put these guys in this spot. And here's basically where it's going to look like, right? Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put a still picture and show you. Initially, there's going to be 4 boxes on the field, okay? There's going to be this box number 1, as you're looking at the screen right now, where it's going to be, can I attack above the hard flat to the outside of the numbers? And how do I basically go ahead and have quick hitters to that side so where I can get it off before the blitz gets me? Now, the second and third box are basically the same thing. It's going to be inside the numbers, and it's going to be under 10 yards. And it's going to be from the numbers to the hash marks. And it's going to be on both sides. And typically speaking, what you're going to do is you're going to have 2 of those on the field for route combinations because you want the user to have to go and take one and you hit the other. And then obviously the 4th box is just the same as the 1 box on the outside, right? So now what I'm going to do, guys, is going to show you some route combinations that go to the spot number 1. So you guys can see that if you just understand the way to attack something quickly, you're going to have the ability to have a lot of success beating this, right? So the first one I'm going to show you basically is a C route and a streak, right? I like this to the short side of the field. It's really good when you have to press sets. I'm not even going to do any type of blitz pickup here. I'm not going to try to blitz it, block it, just to prove to you that if you have the right combinations out there, and you can go ahead and have the right speed, you can get these plays off pretty easily, right? In that situation, all I wanted to do here was to throw it quickly there. You could do something where it's a speed out and a streak, right? So if I go ahead and do the same thing here, let me just audible to crossfire and do it right here. You can see that we got that same shell. Again, all I'm going to do here is we're going to attack to the outside. We're going to go ahead and throw this ball here. You can see how we got that throw on the outside, right? Obviously, I got bumped a little bit there, but you can see that that's going to be open, right? Now you can do a little bit more of a compressed set. Let's say we go to like a tight open, and now I'm going to do just pick any play here. I can put a streak and a corner route, right, like this, and you're going to see it's going to be the same exact type of look that if you want to get those yards a little bit further down the field, right? So I'm going to do that here. You're going to be able to attack that same way to the outside, right? Here we go like this. You see I'm not doing any blitz pickup. The X, just throw it right here, get that catch, and you're good to go. So what you're doing is you're just saying, how do I attack above that hard flat? Not anything, complicated. It's just, 2 routes on the field that go above the hard flat, and you're good, right? If you're in more of a wider set, you can do this with a comeback, right? Like say I'm in a double set or a trip set, and I just want to make sure that I've got, something to the outside. I could put it, a streak and a comeback route, right? Get this player here and do the same thing where I go ahead and set this up. It's going to be, how do I get somebody in box number 1 to give myself an opportunity to have an open player, right? So here we go, this. You see here, you can step up the pocket, the X is gonna get open, you throw that right there, and you got yourself an easy catch, right? And what I'm doing is, I know I'm on a timer when it comes to the splits, because even if you have good blitz pickup here, they're going to shed quickly enough to where if you go ahead and wait with the ball, you're going to put yourself behind the sticks. You see here, we do pick this up, basically to go ahead and do it. I just pass it to the right here. But you can see if I go up and I just make sure that I have the right timing, these guys are going to be open. So now let's talk about box number 2 and 3 together, okay? And what I'm going to do here is instead of setting up crossfire every single time like this, I'm going to do is I'm going to go into something like just a dime, and this way you can kind of see it and visualize it a little bit more. I'll just do something like cover 4, and I'm just going to shade down. So that way I don't have to set it up every time because it's going to look exactly the same, okay? So what I'm going to do is go to a situation to where we're going to attack in 2 different spots, right? So let's talk about like spot routes. I think this is one of the better ways to do this. I'm just going to do this, and I'm going to blitz this X just so you can see it. So what you're going to see is that you want to attack the numbers in 2 different spots. On the left spot, I'm going to do is just put an X on an in, and I'm going to do Y on anything I want, and then I've got the B, right? All I want to show you here, and I'll block my running back, is that we're attacking 2 different places, the box number 2 and 3, and if they go and take the 3, the number 2 is going to be open. If you're going to do the number 2 box, the number 3 is going to be open. So we go here and look at this X. This is easy. That's box number 2. It's inside the numbers underneath 10 yards. I can put this guy on a, basically a drag route. So the first one was an in route. This one, I'm going to do a drag route, right? I can hit this all day long right here. It's going to be, that guy is going to be blitzing you. He's going to be in a spot where he's going to, basically leave that spot open, and we're good to go. Now, if I go ahead and see that the user, maybe does one of these, blitzes where he's going here, he's going to disengage, it's going to go over and cover that, right? But that's not a problem, right? I'm going to just go ahead and show you that, where if he does something like that, I do a drag. Now I've got a spot route on the right side, so it's an either or, X over there, or I hit this B right here, right? It's kind of one of those 1 or 2 punches over there. Now I can do double ins, I can do double flats, double ins, right? I just want to show you basically, don't overthink it. All you're doing is you're trying to get somebody in either of those boxes in a spot to where if they go ahead and cover one, you're going to be able to cover the other one, right? So if I do something like this, where they're doing, they do the disengage, you hit the speed right here, right there, right? It's just that same spot. And again, you can do this with curl routes, you can do this with ins, you can do this with slants, you can do this with, spots. I'm going to do a curl route here for you, right? I'm just going to take the curl, put like about 6-7 yards, and I'm going to do something like a drag on the left. All I'm doing is saying, if the user goes right, I'm going to hit the X. If the user goes left, I'm going to hit the N. So in this situation, we're going to say the user goes left, right? We do this, take the ball. You see here, this guy's going to sit right there, and we're going to be able to catch it, right? I'm trying to do with this 2 different controllers. Obviously, the user went right there, but I'm trying to make it to where he doesn't. So if I do it like this, where the user's actually, I'm going to put this guy and man him up on the X player so you can see it. But all you're doing right now is you're putting 2 different routes in 2 different spots in order to do it, right? Here we go. Now this A is there, easy catch. So what routes do we like in the 2 and 3 boxes? Again, drags, slants, short crosses, in routes, spot routes, just anything that attacks really short underneath in that area, right? Now, what if they do the adjustment where they're going to put the vert hooks? And that's where we're going to introduce box 5 and 6, okay? And 5 and 6 here, let me just go and grab the crossfire again and kind of look at it from this perspective. Do this, and what we're going to do here is set up the blitz, and we're going to take out our map again, and we're going to put the 5 and 6 again, right? So if we look at this, we're going to see here is that 5 and 6 are to the outside. This is when they put the vert hooks on the field, and they're going to do it. They're going to take these hard flats, and they're going to put them either one side or the other, or both, and they're going to now say, you know what? I'm going to take away the ability for you to throw in that little spot, and now you're going to have to find the spot outside. A lot of times you're going to do it on one side or the other. So like say they're going to do it on one side where they're going to put the vert hook just on the left side, right? But when we're going to attack this box, all we're going to do is make sure that we've got something like this, right? All we're going to do is put a out route and a hitch. So if they do something where they got that vert hook on the left, we're going to read that player and say, okay, if he stays home, X is going to get open, right? You got an easy catch over there. If he goes to the outside, right, and they do it that way, and they do it like this, where we're going to just kind of simulate this, and then put, say, the right side on the vert hook, and we got that same route combination, right? Just one of these, and you're going to see that if they go outside, oh, no problem. We're just going to hit this guy. So we're just looking at the slot corners and saying, do they fan out or do they stay at home? Now, another route that I didn't talk about is this return route. Well, we could do something like this. We got a return around the right. It's just a simple combination. Like, we got nothing on the field right now that's going to go deep. That's true. And don't get me wrong. You know, there's times and places that you could do this. A lot of times you do want to have a deep route on the field just in case they're switch sticking. And you can get them to kind of go ahead and you know, do that. But if you look at it this way and say they go to the left side here, right? I just want to kind of show it to you. So you look at these guys and you say, okay, I'm going to look left to right. This guy goes this way. Okay, no problem. I'm just going to hit this B right here on this return route, because what you're doing is just making them have to decide which box they want to cover. So hopefully that makes a lot of sense to you guys. I know I'm just trying to do my best to, you know, kind of simplify it for you. There is an additional box, which is we call the 7 box, which is just behind the linebackers, and that's when you start getting them to go ahead and cover, you know, deep, right? If I was to do something like this, to where I take this A and just go up a little bit right here, and we do something like this. Just this is an easy thing, right? X is going to box number 6. You know, the Y is going to box number 2. The B is going to go to box number 3, and then the A is going to box number 7. Well, they're doing something like this where they are, you know, basically covering, you know, going this way and covering it. You're going to see that we have that ability to now go ahead and tack above the linebackers because you got them to play low. So just want to make sure you understand that there are some other ways to attack this. We can show you bombs in our game plans. They can bomb this all day. But for the root of it, guys, the hardest thing for somebody to do is feel like they're helpless, because you're thinking and dunking over 5-yard throws. But these aren't 5-yard throws, because these got, once you catch it, you're going to get another 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 yards after the catch. So you take 5-yard throws and turn them to 8-yard gains, 10-yard gains. It gets really annoying, and that's what this type of concepts are, is showing them that we can beat the blitz. You're going to have to get better than what you're doing in order to do it, and that's going to open up the throw down the field. So this video is just more about attacking things in a logical way to make sure that you don't panic when they are blitzing you. As long as you know where you're to attack and get the right you know, routes in the spots where you're going to, as we illustrated with the boxes, you can have a lot of success with this, guys. Hopefully that makes sense. If you guys have any questions, make sure you put it in the comments if I didn't explain it as well as I should have. But I think that if you follow the plan, look at the boxes, and know that you need to get 2 players in a box at all times, you know, one in one box, one in the other, so the user can't cover it all, you're going to have a lot of success just reading which one's going to be open, and go ahead and just walk your way down the field. We appreciate you guys. If you guys like this video, hit the thumbs up, and we'll catch you on the next one.